welcome home, DeSean, and welcome to the Rams.
Thank you.
Just kind of wanted to get a feel for how you're feeling, how your off-season program has been with the injuries.
Off season's been good. First of all, thank you, for the welcoming. It's a great feeling. It's a great space right now where I'm at in my life and in my career. Unfortunately, the past few seasons I've been dealt with some injuries, but as far as right now, I'm feeling great. Feeling I'm 100% healthy. The rehab process has been going very well. Especially good to be back home to use some of the greatest trainers I have here to take advantage of that. So it's still at the point where we're in March. I haven't hit the ground running, crazy yet. Just kind of easing my way back into it, but the process has been great. The support has been great. Obviously, to be back home is a great addition for my family and for where I'm at in my career. So, the welcoming obviously feels great, and I just kind of can't wait to get out there and get going with my teammates and just kind of build what what we want to do here in LA.
Have you had an opportunity to talk to any of your new teammates yet?
Yeah, I actually had an opportunity to talk to me and Aaron Donald. We talk a lot. Since I've signed, I haven't talked to him, but I've talked to Matthew Stafford. He's the only one I've talked to, and I talked to Jalen Ramsey. Me and Jalen have a great relationship too. So when I first signed, Matt got my number from McVay and sent me a text. So very exciting to get with him, man. He's got a lot of respect and accomplished a lot of great things in the NFL. So can't wait to get with a quarterback like him. I'm interested to see how that's going to work out.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Nick.
Hey, DeSean, welcome back to LA. Nick Hamilton, Nightcast Media. Wanted to ask you, you talked about speaking to some of your teammates, but have you got a chance to really look at what you're going to ingratiate yourself into as far as the wide receiver core playing alongside Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to talk to them yet. I've talked to Coach Yard. Yosh Yarbs. We have a lot of background, from Crenshaw in LA. He was at UCLA. He actually was, at Arizona State when I came out, and he was trying to recruit me. So we have a real good relationship through my older brothers, actually real good friends with Coach Yarb. So talk to him, man, and, just hearing the energy from, having an addition to me and, what he's thinking and to implement me with, those other guys who've been doing a great job here in LA. For me, is a very exciting, thing to look forward to because where I'm at in my career, just the knowledge and, what I've learned so far, I'm able to kind of get back to these young guys, like Coop, Rob, with their success and where they're at in their career. So for me, I'm just glad to be an addition and add anything I can to help them better their games or, probably things I've saw or witnessed in my career, maybe kind of just give back to them as well too. So it's a building, I'm a sponge as well. I'm coming in ready to learn and, ready to teach as well too. So, I'm just looking forward to the camaraderie, just building the upbringing as far as, just kind of wanting to create, what I know they've been doing here in LA, which is win. So I'm just kind of happy to be an addition to that.
And also, you being from the LA community, you've always made sure you kept the memory of Nipsey Hussle alive. You've always been, ingratiated yourself also in the community as far as helping people. Or what are some of the things that you want to continue to do and you want to implement now that you're back home in LA? You can really have a real pulse for the city.
Yeah, for me, excuse me, I got a call. For me, man, Los Angeles, California, being born and raised here in LA, man, is very personal for me. I feel like, being able to have that upcoming and, background from me being able to be raised here when I go all across the world, it's like a demeanor you carry yourself with. It's a swag you have. So for me to be back here in LA, man, I know, the inner cities very well. I come from that. And, I just want to reach back and help pull people out, of the poverty, the slums where we're stuck at. We don't really have opportunities to get out of there and go see things different. So for me, I'm continuously, in those areas to, just help kind of change the mentality, from how we was raised and what we grew up doing. Just to really be on some positivity, going out and, having kids stay in school, stay off the street, stay away from drugs, and just really create platforms and opportunities for these young kids to, have somebody to kind of lean on when, they feel like they're down and out and they don't have no one to listen to or, to get answers from. That's kind of what I, and see myself bringing here to the city is, something I already really been doing. So once again, excited to be back here to be able to just kind of reach back and grab people out of, the areas.
And lastly, how excited were you to see SoFi Stadium and know that you're going to play in that arena, in that stadium rather, on Sundays?
Yeah, man, it's actually crazy, man. SoFi Stadium is, where I really started playing football. Before they even built the stadium, that area was Darby Park, and I used to play at Darby Park as a little kid, man. So like being there in the stadium, man, and just kind of walking on the grass and just really feeling that atmosphere, man. It was something intriguing about that, just because it's like a rich blood. It's just like I've been there, when I was a kid, and on these fields competing at a young age, and what turned out for me to be, this professional athlete that's been making it in the NFL for a long time and doing some great things. So for me to be here on my stomach grounds, into areas that I'm very familiar with, man, it's not a better feeling, man. I look at it like, almost when LeBron went back to Cleveland and won a championship for, Cleveland, Ohio. So that's what I'm here for, man. That's all I'm really worried about. I'm at that point in my career where I'm not worried about myself anymore. Like I've accomplished a lot of things, Pro Bowls, 10K plus yards, the accolades are there. At this point in my career, man, I'm about winning, man. And, when we was going through this situation with, Sean McVay and, the Rams, and just trying to figure out if it even could work, the possibility of, getting a contract that, is somewhat deserved, but at the same time, it's not always about money. It's about really trying to come here and win, man. And that's, my number one priority.
Cool. Eric, you on mute, Eric.
Sorry about that. Eric Williams, Sports Illustrated, congratulations.
Thank you.
Two questions for you. One, how much was your relationship with Sean McVay a part of in terms of landing with the Rams, and what's your relationship like with him? And then number two, there's been a lot of talk about adding a vertical element in the Rams offense this offseason. Do you feel like you can provide that?
Yeah, well first off, Sean McVay, man, very special relationship. Me and Sean McVay, acquired when we was back in Washington from 2014. I can remember when the Eagles released me in 2013, and just to have that relationship with a guy that's kind of close to me in age, and then Jay Gruden actually was our head coach at that time. I could just remember where I was at in my career after coming off of one of the greatest seasons I had in 2013, and being released. It was almost like like a stab in my back. But to have Sean McVay, Jay Gruden, like kind of just come to me like, man, we're not worried about any of that stuff people were saying. Like, we believe in you as a player, as a young human being. And it's like the opportunity they was able to give me, like, for me sit somewhere special in my heart, in my life. So, since day one, getting there in Washington with McVay and Jay Gruden was something different, because I was able to come in and have a role where it was unlike any other. We had Pierre Garçon, we had other pieces, Jordan Reed, but it was like a niche for figuring out, like, he's our deep threat, but he's not just our deep threat. He's our underneath guy. He's our screen guy. He can run quick hitches. He can scare people so, fiercely deep, but it's like, we want to use him for the underneath, the screens. And it was just like, for me, it was a great thing because, when you hear about DeSean Jackson, you always think about a one-trick pony. You think about him going deep in a vertical threat, but it's like, no, we're going to use him where people don't think that we're going to be utilizing him. And for me, that's something that was very intriguing, to be able to come back and re-emerge with somebody that really knows me, and I think, like, a lot of times people have a misconception of, me being a certain way. And it's like the people that really know me, they say, like, he's a good kid. He's hardworking. He's about his family. He wants to, he wants to win, and he wants to just do the best I can to help my team, man. So I think it's going to be a great re-emerging because he knows me. He knows how to utilize me, and, he's going to put me in the best positions to win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
For sure.
Lindsay.
Hey, DeSean, Lindsay Theory from ESPN. Welcome back to LA.
Thank you.
Can you tell us what it was like? I mean, obviously, when you first entered the NFL, there was no NFL in Los Angeles.
Right.
So what's it been like to kind of see this evolution of you could come back home for part of your career?
Yeah, it's crazy you really talk about that. I remember, having the opportunity to really, in 2017, when I was a free agent, when McVay first year was here, when he came to LA, was really when I really started thinking, like, damn, it's a possibility that I can come play for the Los Angeles Rams somewhere where we didn't have a team. When I was growing up, we didn't have a team here in LA. So, you know, for me to be able to, you know, the possibility of knowing it was possible for me to come back to LA and you know, hopefully play in front of my home state and fans, like it's really my family. I already have like so many relationships here in, you know, Los Angeles. So man, it was just crazy. And I just was talking to my cousin, like basically saying like, this is the perfect time for me to come back to LA. Cause if it would have been when I was younger or even like 5-6 years ago, like I just was at a different point in my life where, you know, it probably wouldn't have been the best thing. But now where I'm at, you know, 34 years old, going on my 14th season, you know, just where I'm at as a family man, how, you know, I'm very focused on my kids and my family. It's just, I'm not that young stage no more where I'm worried about hanging out and going to clubs and partying. Like I'm just at a different space in my life. So right now is the perfect fit and it's the perfect time. It couldn't have been any other time. So like I say, everything happens for a reason. You know, God puts, you know, a time place in front of you, and it's like you have to kind of relive or, you know, be in moments where it's like it's already happening. It's the purpose for you to be here. So in year 14, it couldn't be no better.
That old age of 34. Yeah.
A young age. We not old. We young. We still young. I'ma still be able to run how I'm running for some quite years, you know. Definitely.
Greg.
Hey, DeSean, Greg Beecham with the AP here.
What's going on?
Not much. Hey, now, Lindsay asked what I was going to ask, but building on that, what does it mean to you to get to this opportunity at this point in your life? I mean, it's you're older, but you're joining a team with Super Bowl aspirations at this point after a lot of years where you were on teams that had those aspirations. Maybe they weren't as realistic as they were with the Rams. What does that mean to you?
Honestly, man, it means a lot to me. And the reason why I say that is because, like you said, I've been on some great teams. You know, Michael Vick going back to the early days in Philadelphia, even going back to McNabb, Brian Westbrook, Brian Dawkins. Like I've been around some great teams, been a part of some great teams, done some special things. You know, my first year being a rookie, we actually made it to the NFC East. I mean, the NFC Conference Championship game, one game away from the Super Bowl, where I literally thought I scored the winning touchdown, and then Larry Fitzgerald comes down and scores on us, and we lose. So it's just remembering everything and how that feels to be on a team that's capable of really making it and having to push into, you know, late December, you know, January, and, you know, obviously February when the Super Bowl is. But, you know, for me, man, that's my number one goal. You know, it was other options out there. You know, I could have went other teams, other places, but, you know, my focus was really reuniting with Sean McVay, like literally talking to McVay once I was a free agent and really just kind of having them open conversations and talking about the possibilities was something that was intriguing for me. So, I mean, I think that overweighs everything, man. And just to have it here in LA, especially, you know, with the Super Bowl being here this year, I mean, you know, I don't want to get too excited and talk about, you know, any of that stuff, but, you know, in my heart and my mind, you know, I'm gonna work my hardest, I'm gonna work my tail off to get to that and, you know, bring something special to this city, man, because it's definitely deserving.
And you've only played 8 games the last 2 years, but the flip side of that is you are theoretically more rested. You haven't taken as many hits. You haven't done as much damage to yourself over the last couple of years. How does your body feel compared to previous off seasons? And you know, what does that make you think about the future? How long do you think you may want to play this game?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the body and the injuries, you know, I endured, man. You know, football is a very physical sport. You know, I know people get into, oh, he only played 8 games. He's out of 32 games, he's missed a lot of games, which is correct. But at the end of the day, if you look through my career, you know, I haven't really missed a lot of games. You know, I've missed games here and there, but that's the typical, man. To be able to make it this far in the league, where people from day one said I wasn't gonna make it 3 years in the league. I said I was too small. I wouldn't be able to play in a big man sport. It's a big man's game. He would never be able to take the pounding. You know what I'm saying? So I've been hearing that so much in my career, and it's like I've surpassed all that stuff, man. I'm just at a point where I'm blessed to be able to have another opportunity to play at this high level and play where I'm wanted. You know, like a lot of times, you know, you have people saying he's a one-trick pony, or he's only good at this. Like I don't really get caught up in that, because when I'm on the field, I know, you know, what I'm capable of doing, and I'm able to help, you know, Robert Woods. I'm able to help Coop. You know, I'm able to help, you know, the running game. I mean, it's so many variables that, you know, come into play. The stats or, you know, the availability, obviously for me, if you're available, you're able to help your team. So when you're not available, I know how that gets. But for me, man, all I can do is put my best foot forward, work, and say my body feels great, you know. And as far as how many years I feel like I can play, I know for sure I could play another 3 to 5 years, as long as I'm able to keep working hard in the offseason and, you know, take credit to what I've been doing.
Thanks,
Nice. Omar.
Hey, DeSean, Omar Ruiz, NFL Network. Good to see you again, man.
How you doing?
Welcome home.
Appreciate it.
I read a report that, when the Rams were thinking about hiring Sean McVay, they had reached out to you and you gave a glowing report. Do you remember who you spoke with at the Rams at that? And do you remember what you said, what your scouting report was of Sean McVay at that time?
So actually, yeah, I definitely, way to refresh my memory. In 2017, my agent at the time was Joe Siegel. So Joe Siegel actually, got the deal done for me when I was in Washington to go to Washington and play with Sean McVay and Jay Gruden. So I can remember, I want to say it was like right in the off season, like right when he was, interviewing for the job, and the ownership here in Los Angeles actually reached out to my agent because they had a great relationship with my agent, and they just kind of wanted to, hear about Sean McVay, like from players that, had respect in the league that's, been playing a long time, and they just kind of just asked, to kind of give me a brief summary about him, just to kind of like some recommendation stuff. So, when they called me, I was like, man, Sean McVay is, a stand-up guy. He's very young, but he's able to walk in the room and, grab the attention, in the NFL, that's hard to do, especially when you're in a locker room and you're in the front of a team that's, 70, 80 guys, or, that's, I'm talking about before, the cuts and things like that. So, McVay, man, he was the one that was in there. Like Jay Gruden obviously was a head coach, but when it came down to, breaking down the offensive script or the offensive playbook, it was Sean McVay, man. And it was just something about him that when he got in front of them rooms, he grabbed everyone's attention. You know what I'm saying? So from a respect level, from a player, you can respect that because he has a connection with the player. So I can see his characteristics of him one day being a great a head coach would be great, because I've seen the intangibles he's had at a young age to be able to get in front of a room and really get guys respect, like myself, Pierre Garcon, Trent Williams, guys like that, Kirk Cousins. So, I was like, man, he's going to definitely be something special in this league. And, obviously it meant something. Whatever I said meant something because they hired him. So, I felt good about that.
All right. Appreciate it, DeSean. Good luck to you, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, we got a couple more. Kevin.
Morning, DeSean. Good to meet you. I cover the team for the LA Daily News, Orange County Register, and some other papers, including the Long Beach Press Telegram.
Okay.
I read about your donation to the Boys and Girls Club of Long Beach. And you were talking about your community involvement before, but are there any other specific groups or causes that you're involved in Long Beach or LA?
I mean, honestly, I'm involved in so many different groups, man, and programs. It's not one specific that, I want to shed light on, but like you said, the Long Beach Boys and Girls Club is, something I had a chance to do last year with Willie McGinnis, who I have a great relationship. He's like a big brother to me, and, has been mentoring me for a long time. But, it's all types of different groups, man, throughout the LA County, Long Beach area. So, I just kind of once again want to continue to shed light and, just helping these young kids, man. I feel like we have such a big accomplishment to do, which is reaching back to these young kids and really giving them a vision, really giving them hope to let them know that, sometimes growing up in these areas, you don't have that hope because you're not able to really see somebody that's made it. But, for myself to go back to these areas and let them know, like, look at me, look at my stature. I'm a regular person. I'm just like you. You might be bigger than me. I might be smaller than you. But, I think just giving them kids that hope to really seeing like, dang, if he can make it and he's as real as me, like it's possible. So like I say, that's what we do. So we want to encourage, groups and funds. We're going back to these areas to really just show these kids that it's possible to make it. Because a lot of times you get stuck in a mindset where it's not possible, or I don't have the resources. Like, how can I continuously go out there and put my best foot forward when I don't think it's possible for me to even make it? So that's why these kids are reverting back to, violence and, using drugs and guns and things like that, because they don't really have no hope in people that's really telling them it's possible to make it.
Mm-hmm. And then one other question about your role. Is punt returning still something you can do?
Hey, man, I can't give you all the information. Me and Sean McVay was just talking about this. I'm not gonna spill all the beans, but we got some things to be excited for, man. Just hold your horses a little bit, man. You'll see soon, hopefully.
We can say you and Sean were talking about punt returning.
We're working on something. We'll see how that turns out.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All We got Stu, Gary, then Willie.
Hey, DeSean, Stu Jackson with the Rams.com. Nice to meet you and welcome back to Los Angeles. By my count, I think you've been on a sideline opposite Matthew Stafford 4 times in your career. I'm just curious, from those, handful of chances that you've seen him play, again, from that other sideline, what were your impressions of him and what excites you the most about getting the chance to team up with a quarterback like him?
Well, I think number one, I can remember, it might have been his rookie year or his second year in the NFL. I think we was playing, I don't know if we was playing in Detroit or they came to Philadelphia, but I can remember it was a high scoring game, and he had obviously he had the chance to throw to a great, in my eyes, a Hall of Fame receiver, Calvin Johnson. And I remember, man, it was this one play. It was like 60 or 70 yard bomb, man. I was on the sideline looking at it, and it was like 3rd and long. It's like 3rd and 30 almost. And it was like, I'm sitting back, I'm like, all right, they about to punt the ball and we're going to get the ball and come back and win the game. But it was this play on like 3rd and long, and he looked back and I see he like rolled out and like made this long throw across the field to Calvin Johnson. It was like, I seen that. I said, this dude's a young quarterback in the NFL making a throw like that. I said, that dude gonna be special, man. And just to watch his career and see what he was able to accomplish, man, and where he's at right now, man. For me, I couldn't ask for a better situation to have a quarterback. And the timing is perfect because he's actually, they just got the trade done before I came. They signed me. So it's like, it was a perfect time, man. I'm like, man, it's going to be special, man. And when we was talking, we was like, man, we can't wait to get out there and start working together. And just, we don't know how the offseason is going to play out, but we're definitely going to get together and work, man. But that dude, man, he's a beast, man. His arm is out the world, man. So I'm excited I'm going to say, man, I'm going to run far and you just throw it far, man. Hopefully we can beat everybody.
Thank you.
Gary?
Hey, DeSean. Gary Klein from the Los Angeles Times. I know you don't want to be characterized as a one-trick pony, but your ability to stretch the field gives the Rams something they've been lacking, at least this last season. How do you see you fitting into that part of the offense, and what kind of has contributed to your ability to be such a dynamic deep threat throughout your NFL career?
Well, I'm gonna ask the second question first and then get back to the first. But as far as what makes me that special deep threat dynamic receiver, I take credit to when I was younger. I actually played baseball, so I was center fieldman. And I was always like in the outfit. I used to tell my left fielder and my right fielder, I say anything that comes in the gaps, don't even think about running to come get it, because I was like selfish and stingy. I wanted every ball, wanted to be diving in the alley in the gaps to make every throw, every catch. So I think I take credit to being in the outfield and just being able to judge a little white ball, and transitioning over to being in the NFL is like, when as a young kid, my older brothers just trained me, and we used to just go out in the park, man, from the age of like 7, 8 years old, man. It was just like every step of the way we was able to continue to just work on my craft. And it was just like, I can remember like being a little kid and they just throw the ball up to me, and it's like I'm running, just over catching it, overlooking it on my shoulder. So, man, just so many years of just working on that traction and, going down the field and catching the ball, man, is what I really give credit to. And, to fast forward to, that addition to, me being here in LA with McVay, man, like I say, man, I don't want to keep living in the past, but when I was in Washington, man, the things we was able to accomplish with McVay and him just calling up those plays, man, I'm just so excited to be able to get back and to be added to that addition, man. And it's like, we don't want to talk too much about it before it's happening, because, I'm a firm believer that, everything happens is going to happen. So like I said, it's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done, but, we're going to put it in and we're going to do everything we can. So when we go over to SoFi Stadium, man, we can give a lot of excitement to our fans, man. So that's, what I'm excited about.
Thanks very much.
Yes, sir.
All right. And we wrap it up with you, Willie.
All right, thank you. Hey, DeSean, congratulations on the contract and welcome home. I want to kind of piggyback on the conversation with you and Kevin. You explained in great detail about how you feel But again, what do you think it's going to mean for the kids to see a homegrown talent, a caliber such as yourself, again, playing in front of them at home, tangibly able to talk to, meet, greet, and things like that?
Yeah, it's gonna be a special moment. You know, and why I say that is because, you know, the involvement that I've always had since I've become a professional athlete, and you know, even kind of before then, even when I was at, you know, Long Beach Poly and had the chances to be on some All-American teams and, you know, to play with some big time guys, and then, excuse me, to have the opportunity to be one of the top prospects coming out of high school and committing to SC, but not officially going to SC. I actually left after I committed and went to Cal, but really just to have that home backing, man, from a kid that's really from the soil of Los Angeles, California, man. And, you know, going back to the camps that I have here in the off season and just really the relationships that I have. You know, I have my own youth, you know, football organization with the Cali Bears. You know, we have the Crenshaw Rams programs for all the kids. So just to be able to have them know I'm here to, you know, my phone haven't been stopping yet, man. I think I was telling the ticket people and the suite people yesterday, like, it's gonna get crazy. I'm gonna have to almost shut my phone off once the season starts because I know everybody's gonna be calling trying to get tickets. But you know, to really give these kids the opportunity to come to training camp, to come, you know, watch us play and really see how it's done. Because at a young age, my older brother, you know, Byron played for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he actually had a great relationship with Dick Vermeil. And I can remember I was like 9 years old. He took me to a training camp in Wisconsin, and as a young kid to be able to see what it takes, how hard they work, from really being in training camp and dorm rooms to waking up early in the morning to, you know, having a full day where it's nothing else but, you know, waking up in the morning to eating breakfast, to going to meetings, to practice, to taking a lunch break, then going back to meetings, going back to practice. Like just being able to see that as a young kid speaks volumes. So for me, I just want to be able to show these kids the hard work it takes. Because I think a lot of times people say, oh, you're a professional athlete, they're lucky, they're getting all this money. But the work behind it, it's really like an 8 to 5. And I don't think people really understand that. So for kids to see that at an early age, it kind of really triggers their mindset early to say, oh, I can do that. Oh, you know, this is what they do. Like it prepares them at an early age to really see, you know, what you have to go through and what you have to endure. So, you know, for me, man, I'm just excited to be able to show these kids what it takes. And for me, being who I am in the stature, like I say, I really think they're able to like see and like, dang, like if he can make it, it gives me possibilities and hopes that they can make it. So, you know, that's what I'm gonna be. I'm a firm believer that the more you put in the work, the more you accomplish. So, you know, don't sort yourself, man. Put your work in, you'll receive your benefits.
Okay, and lastly, I know I'm putting the cart before the horse, but again, how do you feel about the possibility of being able to play in the Super Bowl in your hometown and the possibility of closing your career out at home?
Man, yeah, it's definitely, man, a blessing in disguise. You know, I was talking to my family the other day, man. I know my pops is in heaven watching down, and you know, man, all the hard work is paying off, man. I don't think this story could have been, you know, rewrote any better way. And like you said, as far as the possibility on ending my career here, you know, seeing what Tampa was able to do last year and win the Super Bowl in their own home, you know, that gives us a lot of hope, man. We didn't, like you said, we don't want to continuously keep talking because we got to put in a lot of work. And you know, for me, I'm just happy to be an addition to what they already been able to accomplish. You know, I think out of 4 years, McVay being here, they made it to the playoffs 3 years. So, you know, the possibility of just knowing that we're playing for, you know, late December, early January, that's what I'm excited for. So I'm stoked, man. I'm happy to be here. You know, Los Angeles Rams fam, I'm ready to come in and work and, you know, earn what I want.
All right, thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Welcome home.
Yes, sir. Thank you.